And I don't want to take it too political because we kind of went deep in that last week, but I feel like a lot of these people that hate on, I feel like a lot of these people that kind of hate on like successful people or multi-billionaires and all this kind of stuff, the evil like corporations and whatnot, they just don't realize how hard it is and how much work it takes and just like
it is insane.
The amount of sacrifice, and they'll never realize the lows that they had to go through to be able to get there. All of the times that they felt like quitting or they felt like, this will never happen. They just hate on the finished product.
Yeah.
And I think the people that have gone through that or tried, even if they failed, have a better understanding of just like, man, I respect the person that made it that far because I know how hard it was for me to even make it a thousandth of a percent of the way.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like, I have so much respect for these dudes, especially because I know most of these guys started off and are still indebted to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about the process, and I'm geeking out. But like,
this is the stuff I could geek out with you about, though.
Okay.
This ain't movies.
You don't like art? You can't perceive art? So think about somebody like Bezos or Elon or whatever, any of these celebrity billionaires. There's so many more billionaires. But the first step to creating your masterpiece is borrowing money. Like, let's just see how much money we can borrow or we can get siphoned into us so that we can get to the next level. Right? And originally, yes, you're going to pay yourself, so you make a pretty decent salary for however long. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then blah. But if it works, that money's not all yours. Like, you gotta
pay that back with interest.
Pay it back with some interest. But then, let's say you get to that level where your business is flourishing, but your ideas are larger than your income. So it's like, okay, we need even more money.
Right.
We need even more people donating and investing and all this stuff into this business. So you turn your business into a public entity.
Right.
And now everybody's dumping money into you. And now you're indebted to 100,000 people and not just a small group of people.
Right.
I think about that all the time. You are in debt to me. You're in debt to whoever it is that got on Robinhood and said, yo, you bought a stock. Like, imagine if everybody pulled their money out of Tesla, out of Amazon, out of this, out of that. They would just go in shock. Mm-hmm. They have reserves, but they probably would blow through that pretty quickly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, just believing so much in your idea that, yes, I will allow people to take their hard-earned dollars and invest it in me, to me is so freaking scary. It's scary, dude. Like,
it's a responsibility.
Oh, man. And then, like, being responsible for 100,000, 200,000 people that work for you. Right. I think there's 800,000 Amazon employees, something like that.
I think it's closer to 1 million.
Let's see. It grew a lot in the last...
because I don't think they laid anybody off during COVID.
I don't think so. Total Amazon employees...
It's like 900 something.
It grew a lot. It's 1.29.
Oh, so it's over.
So it's almost 1.3 million people.
Think about how many lives that changes. Because the lowest paying job at Amazon, I think, is like $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And I know my boy is a manager for Amazon. Mm-hmm. He started in he lived in Philly, was working in Jersey. Now he moved to Miami, still working with Amazon. Oh. It changed his life. Like, he is, has a wife, 2 beautiful daughters. Like, he's able to do whatever he wants because of the lifestyle Amazon has given him. He works, I think, 3 or 4 days a week, gets 3 or 4 days off.
Wow.
So he gets to raise his daughters. He works night shifts on the weekends and stuff. So like, crazy. So it's like completely changed his life, and I'm sure it's hard work, and during the whole COVID thing, there was a lot of drama about I guess work situations or work what's it called, like the surroundings at work and stuff like that. But
workplace safety, I guess.
Exactly. But if you only focus on the negatives, or like if you outweigh the negatives, like in the sense you weight them higher than realizing what
the monstrosities of the positives are.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think about what AOC did by, not allowing, Amazon to go to her district or whatever it was.
She did that?
Yeah, like that was one of the things she ran on and like didn't let them because she felt like Amazon won. I think it was more about like ruining businesses around there or something like that, but the amount of jobs and well-paying jobs and the amount of lives that would have been changed in her district is incredible. I would love for Amazon to open up anywhere near me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just it makes everything better. Like, property values are gonna go up. Like, just the quality of everything's going. So many jobs are gonna be there. Like, people are gonna be happier. Like, I don't know. Like, I know it's not a perfect thing. I know, like, there's flaws with every business, and obviously the main thing of a corporation is to make money. So sometimes at the expense of making more money, there's some humanitarian things that are let go of, or like, if somebody's winning, that means somebody's losing as well. But overall, I think they get a worse name than
they deserve.
Well,
you know what? I think the difficulties of saying, oh, they're gonna shut small businesses down, blah blah blah. Look, the world is adapt or die, in general. Right. So if it's not Amazon, it's Walmart.
Right.
If it's not Walmart, it's Target. If
it's government.
If it's not them, it's the government.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of taxation to death, or like, this is the things that happened 2 administrations ago. And you can always blame somebody else for, like, yo, they shut my business down. Like, I had an Uber driver who had a language interpretation business, and he scaled it up to being worth about $4 million.
Wow.
And the government forced some form of regulation and shut his entire business down. And now he's an Uber driver. And he had it on his heart, like, bro, I ran a $4 million entity, and he made it happen in 3 years. And for the government to come, because what ended up happening, I believe, he told me, somebody would have to go look it up, but he told me that the government started their own leg of medical interpretation, so they cut out all private entities.
Wow.
And so, of course, I felt bad for him. And at the same time, I was like, bro, you created a company. You saw a need somewhere, and you created a solution for it. So if I were you, I would just think about that in that general way, and then try it again somewhere else. And he was like, I never thought about it like that. I just thought, like, oh, I started this thing, the government shut me down, I'm done for. And I was like, no, you're not done for. Because the thing is, you're a human being who has an eyeball to see problems. And if you see a problem, solve it.
And the skill set to create, obviously, a business that could thrive and grow and expand and stuff like that.
And so it's pretty crazy, just talking to people in the most simplistic ways. And then they're like, whoa.
Once again, easy to make other people's lives simple, more difficult to make your own, right?
But too, like, at the same time, too, like, I think it's about creating the left and the right turns. How do I get somewhere? And you can look at a place like right down the street. You could look at it and not know how to get there. Right? Because in your vision, it's right there. But there's a wall there, there's a building there, there's another building there. So in order for me to get there, I have to create some kind of
path,
right, to get there. And sometimes we create paths that are entirely too complex. And I think that's what happens to me sometimes. The moment that I made things less complex, the more things started working out.
For sure.
It's like I was, to give you an example, like, I was ready to do anything and everything for anybody as long as a camera was involved. But then I was like, oh, wait, let me strip 98% of this away. Let me just strip it all away. And the moment I did that, it was like, poof. And one of my mentors, he told me this, and I tell other people this: go niche or go broke. That's a form of, like, simplify everything. Keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
You know? And once he said that to me, I was like, oh, snap. You know? And it's the way of life. A doctor who specializes in ear, nose, and throat, that's all they do.
Right.
But guess what? That's how they make their money.
Exactly.
They're not going to do brain surgery. They're not going to go do spine surgery. They're not going to do that. They do one thing.
Specialists.
It's crazy.